Okay, welcome back. This is video number 4, and let's talk about how to build a brand or a lifestyle. So now that you understand why you need to inspire people by building a brand attached to a lifestyle, let's discuss how you can actually do this in the real world. All right. So a brand is more than just a logo. You can go on graphicriver.net or any other site and get a logo. That's not a brand. All right. I want you to understand that, because I feel like a lot of people get confused. They feel like, okay, I'm going to get a logo, I'm going to get a website, I'm going to set it up, and that's it. It's more than that. All right. So I want to make sure that we get in the right mindset. You're going to be able to succeed in all that. So it's an attachment or an identity. That's what a brand is. And the lifestyle itself just helps kind of build and grow the brand. Now, you might be thinking, well, what if I don't have that lifestyle? Well, just wait a minute and I'll talk about that in just a minute. All right. So try to figure out, as of now, what sort of identity you want to create as part of that brand. And then figure out what people want to be like, what they aspire to be, and all that, right? Because our society has changed to the point where people want to find their identity. If they can find their identity inside of your brand, or even if it's just a little piece, they are more likely to feel attached to your brand. And then they're more likely to follow you. They're more likely to buy from you because they feel like they found a piece of their identity through you, and you help them do that. So obviously, as a brand, you want to help them find that piece of their identity. You want to help them in the long run. If they can feel that you're genuine, they're more likely to follow you, right? So, I mean, if you think about yourself, if you find something about yourself that could potentially improve yourself, improve your hobby, improve your likes, and avoid the dislikes and all that, you're more likely to trust that brand, that person, that company, right? So same kind of concept here. They want to find and buy things that express who they are. So if you can help them do that via the lifestyle, via the brand, then you're going to be able to close a lot of sales on Instagram. So in our last example, as a scuba diver, what we can do is you might want to attract, let's say, newbie scuba divers or expert scuba divers. So these are very, very, very different audiences. But it's crucial to know that ahead of time, because expert scuba divers might want a certain thing. And then, of course, newbie scuba divers might want a certain thing as well. So in other words, knowing who your audience is very, very important. So think of your own business, what you're trying to sell, and build a lifestyle around that. And think about, what you're wearing, what you buy, the software tools you're buying, the physical goods you're buying, the ebooks, the educational material that you're buying. Just think of everything as part of that lifestyle. All right. So what this allows you to do is it really allows you to expand potentially your profit margin. So instead of selling just one thing, you could be selling many different things that surround that particular product. Now, once you've gotten to this point, then it's time to think of a logo. All right. And you can easily get this off of graphicriver.net, or you can go to upwork.com. That's upwork.com. And you can find a graphic designer, a logo creator, designer, and get one created for you. Now, when you create a logo, you want to specifically choose something that relates to your niche. So a scuba diver attracting newbie scuba divers, you could find a scuba diver logo and name it something that would attract your audience. So newbie scuba divers are obviously going to want to learn from expert scuba divers, and of course the same thing. So they might be attracted to a certain element, but they're still going to have a very different mindset, right? Newbie scuba divers, they might be more likely to buy pretty much everything. Expert scuba divers may be more reluctant, right? Or more skeptical. So that's just something to think about as you begin to build your brand. So a quick recap here, make sure to create an identity and be ready to inspire. All right. So that's what it really comes down to. And that's what brings us to the next question, which is what creates inspiration, which we'll talk more about in video number 5. All right, welcome back. This is video number 5, and let's talk about what creates inspiration so that you can inspire people, you can help people get ideas. So once you have an idea of how you want to go about creating your brand, creating your identity, and creating that lifestyle per se, we need to take a closer look at what really inspires people to follow you and become your fan. Now, remember, people come to Instagram to get ideas to bring back to either use practically, go buy something, or inspiration to add to their own identity, to their lifestyle, or whatever. So the question begs is what inspires people? Or more specifically, what inspires the people that you're trying to attract? So your lifestyle, of course, or in other words, needs to be a true, honest life. What I mean by that? What I mean is that people need to see that you are truly living this lifestyle. Now, it might be a little hard if you're selling a product like an affiliate product that you have no lifestyle in. So let's say, for example, I am trying to sell a scuba diver lifestyle, but yet I am not anything related to a scuba diver. So in this case, I have to go and read more about scuba diving. I have to kind of indwell in it to the point that I get a better idea of what makes people mad, what keeps people awake at night, going to go buy something and all that. So what I might do is I might go to another Instagram profile and take a look at it, one that has a good following, and get a better idea of what that lifestyle would look like. I would even maybe go on Upwork.com and try to find somebody who might be a scuba diver, who loves that area, who's passionate about that area. And maybe I might try to partner with them, all right? Or I might go and try to find a scuba diver expert and get a better idea, maybe spend a day or two with them and get a better idea of all that. And the reason being is it's just a faster tracking of your success. You might be thinking, well, that takes time. Yeah, of course, because building a real business takes time. And I'm not going to sit here and say that you're going to make lots of money on Instagram really, really fast, because any business, it does take time. But really what you're trying to do is trying to figure out and how does a scuba diver think? And then write down what inspires them. Look at the images maybe that get the highest likes, get the highest comments, and write those down. You don't need to copy them. You don't need to plagiarize, but you can just write them down, get a better idea, and use a program which we'll talk about later on to create beautiful looking graphics that cater to that group to create inspiration. All right. So they want to know you're real. So you can't really fake real, right? You have to, that's why I say you have to find somebody who is either super passionate that you can partner with and do it from there. Now, for those of you who are, selling your own product and service, that's easy. You already live the life, so that's easy to create a lifestyle. But those are two different routes that you can take. So what inspires people? Well, let's talk about getstencil.com. Getstencil.com is a really cool, awesome web application that you can use to create really good looking images. So you can create really good looking memes. You can take, the research that you did previously and jot them down, jot the quotes down, find the quotes, utilize the quotes, but use getstencil.com to recreate that quote, recreate that beautiful, aesthetically pleasing photo, right? You can use famous quotes that are inspirational to your niche and all that. But getstencil.com is just one of many sites. I believe there is canva.com, canva.com, and there are a lot of other similar tools like that that will allow you to create beautiful looking pictures. Here's what you can do. As part of a lifestyle, you can create great looking pictures for your lifestyle, your gear, the tools that you use, everything related. So maybe as a scuba diver, you show the scuba equipment that you use. Maybe you have several different types of equipment. Maybe you're a Shopify store and you can say, well, here are 3 different types of breathing mechanisms that you can use, and you can do a review on them. You can show them. You can show what happened. You can even show the lifestyle that day where you tested throughout the day. Obviously, like I said, as a product owner, you can do this very easily. But if you're selling something like a Shopify store where you have no bit of knowledge of that, you can find somebody, you can talk to somebody about it, and you can look on YouTube, look on the reviews on YouTube and get a better idea, and then use those similar ideas but turn them into pictures. So you can also focus on creating ideas people can use, and you can go on YouTube, you can go on Pinterest. Pinterest is actually a really good place to find pictures that you could potentially use. But obviously, like I said, do not copyright, do not plagiarize, do not copy the image and use it, on your own. Recreate it, because at the end of the day, you want to keep yourself safe. You want to do your due diligence and follow the rules. So this is how you can sell indirectly. You're not really selling, you're just showing people your lifestyle, the things that you use, the things you don't like to use. You're basically building a brand and a lifestyle for people to follow. And eventually, people will follow you to the point, like I said, they like to follow their favorite celebrities, their favorite people, their favorite brands. All right, welcome back. This is video number 6. It's called You Get One URL. So that's the reality is with Instagram, you get one URL, meaning one place to add your blog, your website, or your offer. It's not like Facebook where you can create a post every single time and put a URL directly to your offer. You get one URL, so you got to choose it wisely. So the question is, what URL should you use? So in this particular video, I just want to let you know that I'm going to talk briefly about the concepts, the fundamentals, and then I'm going to go to Instagram.com and I'll show you what we're looking at. All right. So with Instagram, like I said, you got to choose one spot wisely, right? Now, the secret here is because you're trying to build your brand and your lifestyle, the ideal place to direct them to is just your website, which could be your WordPress site. And then on your WordPress site, you have your blog, your website, and your offers all on that particular site. So the secret here is because you're building a brand, because you're building a lifestyle, what you want to do is you want to still brand yourself. You don't usually want to just direct people to a sales page. People have taken the action to follow your profile, but they're still getting to know you, right? They're still trying to build that identity, build that relationship with you. So you still need to gain their trust. So here's a basic blueprint that you can follow, but from the Instagram profile, I recommend that you direct them to either a blog, your website, or an opt-in with free tips. So you're still trying to build their trust. There's still semi-cold traffic. If you send them to a blog with more content, more free information, then that's going to gain their trust. They're more likely to want more, right? Or if your brand, you can send them directly to your website and they can buy the products. But at the end of the day, you can use that. You can use an opt-in with free tips or a squeeze page to build your list first. Because what I found is that a lot of times it takes 7 to 12 times to actually touch the person, get to know them before they actually buy. So what I mean by touching or touch points means emails. So it could be 7 to 12 different emails after they sign up for a freebie. And you can email them using an autoresponder like getresponse.com or aweber.com, and just build that relationship through your email autoresponder system. And then once you've built that relationship on a more personal, deeper level, then you can begin to sell things. So we don't advise you to put a URL there where you're selling a product straight. It's actually better if that link is going to your blog or a content piece with tips. Maybe tips on scuba diving, the top 10 things you shouldn't do as a newbie scuba diver, or the top 10 gears that I use. So if you think about that, you're telling them the gears that you use, and maybe you link them to affiliate links like Amazon affiliate links. So you're indirectly making money by providing free content. So that's another method of indirect selling. Now, make sure that when you do this, make sure you follow FTC guidelines, and make sure to be transparent with people that you are making money anytime they buy through your affiliate link. By doing this, your goal is to gain their trust and create a true fan that loves you so much they spend at least 10 to 15 minutes per day following you, seeing, what's happening in your life, looking at the good times, the bad times, basically the life of your brand. Now, you might be thinking, well, what if I'm not a person? What if it's just a brand? Well, same thing. You can show the lifestyle of the brand, what the brand is doing, what the brand is going to do, like upcoming sneak peek previews of what the brand is doing. Because Instagram, if you notice, is a lot about curiosity, a lot about sneak peek previews. So that's the end goal. So what I want to do now is just hop on over to Instagram.com and let's talk about what we just talked about. All right, so Instagram is a mobile app, so I can't show you a ton, but I can show you at least a few things. But if you go to Instagram.com/Instagram, you'll be able to find the search bar. If you go straight to Instagram.com, then you'll be met with a screen that says you'll need to download the app. But as you can see here, you get one URL, and the one URL is going to be located basically at the top inside your description. So if you notice, if I take a look at some of these images, let's say this one here, you'll see that it has a lot of text. You got hashtags, so you could use hashtags as a means to direct people to a certain place, but you can't really enter a URL in here. So that's why that one URL has to be used wisely. Now you can see, like I said, with Instagram, their profile, you can see that they're directing you to their blog. They're still trying to gain your trust, right? So they've not directed you to a certain product, but of course that's Instagram. So they could direct you to Instagram.com, but for whatever reason, they chose to direct you to a blog. But let's go up the top here and let's type in scuba diving. And let's just choose this one here. So as you can see, this guy has 696 posts, 117,000 followers, and he is linking right here. So let's see what he's linking to. So scubadiving.com/. So obviously this person doesn't own scubadiving.com. It's a photographer spotlight. So it looks like they're linking here to show you that, hey, I am really a scuba diver. But what she could be doing is, if they wanted to monetize, he or Beth Watson here, she could be directing people to a blog that showcases scuba diving and all that. Now, she's more into photography, so she's probably going to track people who are in photography. So it's not really going to be scuba diving equipment, but rather people are probably going to want to know, hey, what camera are you using? What equipment are you using? What scuba diving equipment are you using? And all that for the purposes of photography. So you see how in this example, it may not be necessarily she's selling scuba diving equipment, but rather than she's attracting a specific type of mindset. So you have to get an idea like who are you attracting? So in this case, scuba divers who love photography. This person obviously does not have a URL, so he's losing out on, making income, and that's probably not the reason why he's on here. But as you can see here, camping tent, 44,000 followers. He could be redirecting people to a blog, or you could also do a Shopify store. But a blog would be better because then you're still basically building trust, and you can send them from the blog to a lead capture page where they can get freebies and all that and build your list. So what I found over the years as far as making money goes, building a list is key. If you don't have their name and their email address, or just their email address, then you're going to lose them and they're going to forget about you and all that. So that's why having a URL is so crucial. But those are just some examples of what you can do. You don't have to follow this step by step, but if it makes sense for you just to put a Shopify store, just do a Shopify store. Just don't think too much about it. But these are just some examples of what you can do with the one URL.